Hello there, newbies. This is Ripex from. Just kidding. I don't actually talk like that. This is Jonah Vale, aka Lord Darkshroud, aka Versa Vice. Um, Basically wanted to give you guys a rundown of, you know, what it is to actually start this game from a veteran perspective to kind of, I feel like the tutorial is a little lacking in that it kind of tells you, to click, to jump, to shoot at archery, but, and then it kind of just throws you into the game harvesting. And I don't really think, it's the best way for everyone to start. So anyway, here's the races. The races as of right now don't really have any purpose whatsoever. It's just purely cosmetic, and as you can see, all that really changes is how ugly their face gets. I mean, this is pretty much a human with a mask, a rat mask, and here's a human with a beard mask, and here's a human with an orc mask. So, it really doesn't matter what you pick. So, I'm going to, let's make some silly looking shit here, and then I'm gonna make you ugly. Real ugly is what I'm gonna do. Let's see what we got for ugliness. Yeah, let's make your face white because that's not incognito at all. And then I'm gonna keep the hair matched. And then we're gonna go with a dark brownish puke color. Yeah, that looks good. Anyway, this is just cosmetics. You can take more time into this stuff. Doesn't really matter to me, since this is just a character I'm making to kind of show you. Starting off, I'll order them in difficulty level for you to start. Okay, Warrior is going to be the easiest thing to play. The Skirmisher is probably going to come in at second. The Primalist is going to be third, and then the Elementalist is going to be the toughest thing to play by far to start. That's the difficulty, so you can change these roles at any time in the game. It has like a 15-minute cooldown. Not really a big deal to it, but whichever you spec into or put points into, you're gonna wanna, really around 30,000 prowess is when you're gonna get that role kind of streamlined, and that's when you're gonna wanna, maybe multi-spec into another role or something like that. So anyway, I'm gonna start as Skirmisher. Beep boop bop. Beep. Give me a little bit of that. Your primary and secondary, you can change this anytime. I'll explain later what that actually means. Then we're gonna go next step. And I don't want you to see my name. Why? Because it's special. Alright, so this is the screen you're gonna load into. It's gonna ask you to do some silly stuff. Shift W. Okay, well, I have to, it's using my old binds. So I'm going to do is go to binds, make sure it's on that. Okay, I'll explain binds later as well. So just do all of these as quickly as you can. I don't recommend using these binds for any reason. The binds they suggest are awful. They don't make sense. You're going to want to change them. Pretty much is what I'm getting to. So let me run through this pretty quickly. Follow the path. Yeah, I get it. I've done this before. I'm not new here. Okay, can this thing get off my face? There you go. So anyway. Okay, it's gonna ask you to hit the dummies over here. Down the path we go, oh so joyous, blah 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 blah. Gonna smack a dummy. Wakata! Wants you to parry. That. Scroll through your mouse wheel to get the bow. Gonna wobble. Boom. Press escape to enter the GUI mode. Now it wants me to equip my staff. Gonna do that. It's going to want you to shoot at this mage totem. No one knows why. Now it wants me to do alt left click, select my heal self. This stuff's already on here because it knows that from my other characters, so I'm gonna have to put some stuff on the bar. Oh, not gonna let me do that. Great, so this is gonna be increasingly difficult. Alright, awesome. Can't just go to this, huh? Gotta have a great axe. You gotta. Okay. Oh, alt right click. Fantastic. I'm retarded. Okay. Let's do cast heal self. Press tab. Wants you to put light on your bar. You're never gonna cast a spell in game unless you're in a dark cavern. So you know, get this off your bar as soon as you put it on there. Oh, you want me to? Okay. Okay, you want it on the right radial. Okay, well I don't want it there, you mother. Alright, alright. Cast light. Oh my god. So much brightness. Look at that brightness right there. Third person, you can really see that brightness. It's very, very radiant. Alright, now you're gonna have to run down this path. Pretty basic here. There's gonna be mobs on the way. Don't bother with them. Don't try to kill any of these mobs. You're just gonna be cutting into your actual character progression by doing so. So because I have some abilities here, let me press Alt and boop. Can I select that? There we go. Just gonna look how good I am. Alright, it's going to want you to go down the cave. Gonna go down the cave and let's cast light again, because I hear that helps. Can't touch me. Got light cast. Booyah, look, he doesn't even look at me. He knows. He knows. He already knows. That orc looking thing has light. I'm gonna stay away from that bitch. She can see everything. Alright, so oh, we have to kill a shadow imp and open its grave? I don't think I'm gonna do that. You know, this tutorial could have changed since I did it, and if they're forcing me to kill that before I leave, I'm gonna be wasting a lot of time here, so yeah. That's a little worrisome. Hopefully I don't have to. That pissed me off. Alright. Oh yeah. Of course, it took. Why is this going through this? Okay. Oh, we're just gonna open the grave just in case. Okay, so basically, I just wanted to make sure you had the intelligence to kill a mob and look at its corpse, which I think everyone can do. Alright, so going through this epicness. Boop. Here's a little secret. If you're a skirmisher, you can throw this bad boy on here. Look at this dragon. He looks menacing, right? He's a pussy. Yeah. Boom. I ain't running around. Why? Because I don't have to. Boom. Look at... Oh, God. You want to kill it. You want to kill it. But you can't. So don't bother. You're going to press F on the portal. Voila, you're actually going to get into the world of Agon, Darkfall, where it all happens, where some of it doesn't happen, where you might AFK in a safe zone and craft. The choice is yours, but you know, there is a PvP side of this game, and that's the side I'm hoping you guys actually get into, because, you know, the whole sitting in a safe zone, talking about life and your comms, that's fine for some people, but, you know, that's not really what Darkfall's about. So, hopefully through this guide you get a little more confident, and, you know, you're actually going to be able to go out and defend yourself and want to go out and defend yourself, because this whole game is about risk and reward, and if, you know, you aren't risking anything, you're definitely not going to get a lot of reward out of it. So anyway, here we are. Spit me in, you know, a city that's close to whatever, my racial orcness. What's up? What's up, OG Harry Naval DS Duke? Yeah, this guy wants to bang, but we can't bang. There's no fighting in the safe zone. So anyway, if you go down here to the top, it's going to want you to bind here. It's going to have you follow like some tutorial tips. So it's going to want you to kill an undead, turn on the map bank overlay. You're going to do that by pressing M, going over here, checking banks. It's going to want you to access the bank. Then once you do that, I don't know why all these guys are, wow, they're just, okay, 30 leather. It wants you to go to the map again. And then it's going to want you to put on, which one is points of engine? Boop, boop. Then it's going to want you to sell it. You're going to figure out which one is the merchant. Doesn't really matter, I think you can sell it to all of them actually. I'm going to do that over here. The reason you're doing these feats is so you can get a mount. Everyone should start with a mount. Mounts are fairly easy to get once, you know, you get into the game. Steegrass, kind of easy to get. Not a huge deal. You're gonna click sell over here, this tiny icon that should be way bigger, but you know, there you go, tiny GUI. They want you to work for it. And then here's the check mark to do the trade, which is all the way over on the right next to a bunch of other circles of a similar size. I know, doesn't make sense. Deal with it, hoping they'll change it. Check. Alright, so you buy a wood axe. In order to do that, you have to go to a merchant. Looking at grab gold, gut your purse. Okay. Okay, we're gonna buy a wood axe from him. He's gonna have you chop some timber, yada yada yada. You're gonna chop some timber, and then it's gonna ask you to do some inferior enema hunting, which is basically going and killing an undead. You know, basic stuff. I don't want to do that because, quite honestly, I don't really have the patience to do it, nor do I need to. In any case, you're going to do that, get your first mount, get you outside, do a newbie spawn, figure out, you know, how to kill mobs, stuff like that. But here's where the game, what you really need to know about this game, okay? This is a team, mostly team. I mean, you can solo in this game, but it's mostly a group PvP focused game. There's territory conflicts. You know, these villages will hopefully be given a purpose in the game and become PvP hotspots, because as of right now, they really don't have a purpose, even though these are capped. Trust me, they have no reason to cap this right now. Anyone capping these things is just nutso gutso. But you can't see any holdings because I don't have them turned on, so I'm going to turn on clans. There you go. See all these holdings? These are territories that clans control in the game. Then, you know, they're supposed to be fought over, but right now there isn't a lot of sieges going on because there's some bugs with it. But, you know, I have faith they'll fix it. And that's what the game's about. It's about big sieges, small-scale fighting over hotspots, just kind of, you know, proving to yourself that, you know, you can survive or get away from someone or kill someone. You know, there's plenty of victories to be had in many different ways. You know, whatever way you have fun is the way you have fun. If you want to craft, by all means go for it, but that's not really what I'm here to explain. You know, there's not a lot to explain with crafting. In any case, bindings. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the bindings. They want you to, like, pull up a radial menu, like every time you want to use an ability. That's wrong, okay? If you're going to play this game, I have to stress that you don't use the radial menus. Yes, you're going to be looking at them down here on your screen, but you're really not going to be using them. You're not going to be rotating through them. You're not going to be cycling through them. You're going to bind everything 1 through 8 on the left, everything 1 through 8 on the right. It all needs to be bound. Whether it's 2 keys, 1 through 8, whatever. I'm going to explain to you how I bind my things. I've been using these binds for 3 years. Some of them I know are a bit of a stretch for the hands. I don't recommend them, but they're just what I'm used to give you an idea. So let me Let me go to the GUI. These are the default ones. We're gonna change them. I'm gonna show you what I would change. I have to remember what I changed. Okay, so move faster is basically sprint. A lot of people use that. You know, in this game, it's actually okay to use it because you get you get the regen from your food. Your food buff is something you want to have whenever you're fighting. If you're standing still or not sprinting, you get regenerated stamina and health, not mana, just stamina and health. But those are two very big stats. So, you know, you wanna. I'm not saying you want to be standing still all the time, but it's not a bad idea to stop sprinting a little bit or strafe to get some regen and reduce your wobble. Another thing to notice, see this circle? When I strafe, it gets smaller in the middle of my screen, and then when I'm sprinting forward, it's bigger. That's the wobble. For, you know, a warrior using a bow, it's much larger. But, you know, for this class and when I'm equipped right now, it's obviously pretty small. But it's a very big part of PvP, so it's something you need to take into consideration. I'm not saying stand still all the time because that's going to make you an easy target, but definitely movement is key. Dodging and aiming, you have to prioritize them all the time, constantly. That's really where a lot of the skill comes in this game. So let's go back to the binds. I personally don't use a shift as a bind. As you can see, I bound it to numpad 8. What I do with a lot of the binds that I don't like in this game is I bind them to keys that I'm never going to press. Because this game doesn't allow you to just delete them and have them unbound. You have to have them bound somewhere. I don't know why. I should just be able to click on it and press delete like the old game, but I can't do that. So I have to bind it to silly stuff like numpad 1, control numpad 1, alt numpad 1, and so on and so forth. I suggest you do that. And, you know, another big thing, like I said, is binding these radials. So when we go down, we'll see what I have my actual radials bound to. Quick items is whatever. Quick items is basically you scrolling through this middle part where my staff is. You can see underneath the sword, and they want you to scroll through that to select stuff. I never want you to do that. If you're scrolling to find something, you're doing it wrong, okay? Someone's going to kill you while you're scrolling. Someone's going to get a shot in your back while you're scrolling. You're just making yourself an easy target if you're scrolling ever. So you're going to want to have everything bound to a specific key. So what I have here is that bound somewhere far off, bind key far, far away. It'll never get pressed. Alternative attack, I have it F3. This is usually T. Alternate attack, you can, when you're on a mount now, you can do a bite. Excuse me. You can do a bite attack. Not recommended. It locks you in place. They still haven't fixed mount combat, so I would never use the bite attack. Always use a side slash or a swing. Unless you're knocking someone off of a corpse, then you might want to use the front bite or the back kick. Those are effective because they have more of a knockback to them, but they do lock you in place and make you an easier target. Enable auto sprint is the caps lock. I left that. Select left radial and right radial menu. Now see, normally down here these would be on Q and E, and they would bounce you from, here I'll show you. Go back to the default binds. They would bounce you. There you go. See how it's like highlighting? So they want you to do 1 through 8. Oh, now I want to go over here. I'm going to do E and then 1 through 8. No. Okay, that's an extra key. You don't need to press. There's no reason for that. So we're going to go to the binds I did, and I basically got rid of the left radial and the right radial. I'm always going to have it on one radial. I'll explain why I do this in a second. I also have a toggle radial menu, so I could still toggle if I really wanted to. If for some reason it got messed up, it doesn't, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, so over here we have reset radial slot. Now I put my shift to this key. A lot of my binds are coupled with shift, so when I'm doing like a transfer or a heal or something, I press shift. Now the reason this is because, okay, say I have dash, and I loaded it up with a key, but now I'm about to, I don't want to dash anymore. Say the situation changes and I don't want to dash. So I just press shift. Or I should just press. One second. Stupid fucking radials. Okay. So. So I'm dashing. I don't want to dash anymore. I press shift, it clears it, okay? Because that way I'm attacking. See, if I had a dash and then I was like trying to man missile, it's gonna dash for me because that was preloaded. And I don't want that. A lot of times you're gonna want to put stuff on your right radial that, you know, is more defensive. Like if you'll look at my radials right now, I have heal self, transfers, disabling blow. I like to line up my disabling blows so that way I can left click and then disable, you know, pretty quickly by doing a quick right click. Anything on your right radial is going to be a right click. Anything on your left radial is going to be a left click, you know. It's not, there's a script that you can use that'll make it all left click. I've heard of it bugging out, so I don't recommend it. Just get used to doing a right and left click. It's pretty, you know, it's comfortable. I got used to it. It's not a big deal. Gonna go further down the binds here. So also you'll notice that you have select radial slot 1 through 8 to start. And then down further, they have left radial and right radial. I don't know why they do that, but this gives you conflicting binds. So what you're going to want to do is for all your radial slots right here that says just select radial 1 through 8, as you can see, I bound it to random shit that I'm never going to press. I suggest you do the same. Then we have our quick items. This is your paper doll. This is the stuff here. Mine's cut off a little bit because my resolution. I apologize. Don't care. I got used to it. So you have the 8 things here. These are your equipment, your amount, food, a secondary potion, a backup weapon, another potion, blah, blah, blah. You know, this is all the stuff you're going to want bound. You want these to be very accessible. So make sure these are in good binds. You're going to be using WASD to move in your mouse. So I suggest either having them on your mouse or around WASD. Here, we'll just go down mine to show you how close they are. I have tab as one, Q is another, one is, Q is my two-hander, tab is a potion, one is a bow. I don't know why these say numpad 4, 5, and 6. Maybe I pressed something that changed that, but those shouldn't be that, so I don't understand why those are that. But whatever. Basically, you want these really close to your mouse, as close as you can. Then we're going to look at the left radial slot. I have 4, 2. These are old binds, so these aren't the actual binds I use, but 4, 2, 3, and then I use shift 4, 2, and 3 for stuff on my left. I use shift Z for my dash. Shift V is going to be my right click heal self. Shift F is my man in the stam, which is a transfer. Shift G is a stam to health, that's another transfer. And then Shift B is another transfer. So my 3 transfers are there. I have T is disabling blow. You want to be really quick on your disabling blows. That's a big deal. Keep in mind you can only disable when someone's actively parrying, so there's a little bit of a meta game to that. You know, if they could fake you out, make you waste a time, disable, and then go back to parrying, and then you know you didn't really get anywhere. So you're definitely going to want to practice against people that are better than you. My suggestion is to get in a clan, duel the best player in the clan as much as you can. If he's off doing something else, duel whoever's next to him in competition. You always want to fight someone better than you, otherwise you're never really going to progress in this game. You're just going to kind of stay stagnant. Anytime you're not out actually actively PvPing, you want to be dueling. You kind of want to get these binds into muscle memory. You really want to beat them into your hands so you don't have to think, because when you're out on the field fighting, you're not going to have a lot of time to make decisions, and that's where you need to really rely on this type of muscle memory. So basically that's just a basic rundown of binds. This is something you need to do right when you start the game, is my suggestion. I mean, not right when you start, go kill a couple mobs and then change your binds, get something that feels right, and then go out and kill mobs in a safe zone or whatever, just to get used to them, pretend they're a player, and then duel a couple people with these binds and just kind of get used to them. Go out in gear you don't really care about. You can go out naked, just kind of don't take it too seriously, but definitely keep practicing at it, and don't beat yourself up over losing a set of bandit or something. In the grand scheme of things, it's really not a lot. If you can harvest all these nodes in here for gear anytime you want. They pretty much allowed you to just max out a character in a safe zone, which I have a huge gripe with. I'm not going to get into that in this video. That's not really what I'm here to do. I'm here to just kind of tell you how to start off on the right path, and that is definitely to redo your binds, go out and actively PvP, and just practice. Don't just sit in here like Grimlock Smash and 7 Stonehenge, Mechia, Yagi. Okay, I'm just kidding. I don't know. These guys could be actively PvPing, but most of these people I've never seen outside the safe zone for the most part. So, you don't want to do that. It's okay to, be cozy in the safe zone, but you definitely want to cut the umbilical cord and get the hell out as soon as you can, because you're not going to really know what Darkfall's about. I mean, you probably have a bad impression of this game if you just hit a tree. Like, let's show you how exciting that is real quick. Just gonna hop up here. All right, and we're hitting a tree, and this is harvesting. Okay, so if you want to do this, all day. This is what you want to do. You want to beat on trees and beat your meat while you're alt tabbed or watch Game of Thrones. That's already probably been spoiled by 30,000 people in this global chat. That's fine. By all means, do that. But you're not going to really be experiencing what Darkfall is about. So I really recommend you get out and kind of attack that stuff. I'll be doing a couple more videos, tutorial videos about actual fighting, PvP, where you should put your stats and stuff like that. This is just kind of an introductory binding thing, get you out of the hole that is, the beginning dredges of Darkfall. Like I said, remember, do not use these radials, bind everything, get used to your binds, and from there I think it's a good foothold to start. So anyway, this is VersaVice signing off, and if anyone has any questions or anything like that, you can message me in game. I'm not gonna always be in game because I'm getting bored of it lately, but yeah, so there it is, and welcome to Darkfall.